By April 2026, Donald Trump's personal net worth crossed a massive, unprecedented threshold, an estimated $6 billion. Yet, the math behind the real estate empire that made him famous doesn't quite add up. His physical properties bled money for years, and during his first term in the White House, his actual net worth dropped by an estimated 31%. The standard narrative is that of a billionaire who turned a $1 million loan into a global empire. However, the raw financial data found in decades of tax returns and ledger sheets provides a very different origin story. To understand where that $6 billion actually came from, we have to look past the biography and analyze the financial architecture underneath it. What emerges is an empire built across three distinct evolutionary eras of modern capitalism. Donald Trump's wealth actually began with a transfer equivalent to $413 million in today's money. This capital flowed directly from the vast middle-class housing empire built by his father, Fred Trump. This diagram shows the specific mechanism they used. In 1992, the family established a corporation called All County Building Supply. When Fred Trump's real estate company needed to buy boilers or cleaning supplies, they routed the purchases through All County, which added an artificial markup of 20 to 50% on every invoice. Fred's business paid those inflated bills, and all that excess cash generated by the markup flowed straight into accounts owned by Donald and his siblings. This maneuver allowed Fred to claim higher business expenses to lower his corporate taxes, while disguising massive wealth transfers to his children as business costs. By routing the money this way, the family avoided the legal 55% gift and estate tax rate, paying roughly 5% instead. This initial foundation was the product of a multi-million-dollar tax avoidance architecture that provided the liquidity needed for his first independent projects. In the 1970s, Trump moved into the high-risk world of Manhattan real estate by adopting a strategy known as OPM, Other People's Money. His first major Manhattan project, the Grand Hyatt, required a $70 million construction loan. At the time, banks were unwilling to lend that amount to a young developer in a struggling city. The loan only cleared because his father, Fred, stepped in and co-guaranteed it. By the 1990s, Trump applied this philosophy to the casino industry, taking on extreme levels of debt to buy properties like the Taj Mahal. When the debt became unbearable, he used Chapter 11 corporate bankruptcy to protect his own assets while the companies themselves took the loss. These bankruptcies effectively shifted personal debt onto shareholders and employees. In 2004, while his company moved toward insolvency, management encouraged casino employees to invest their retirement savings into company stock. When that stock collapsed, hundreds of workers lost their savings, while Trump's personal wealth remained shielded by legal firewalls. This strategy of shifting blame and using legal shields was a tactic he learned from his early attorney, Roy Cohn. Through decades of expansion, Trump established a model of privatizing the profits of his growth while leaving the financial risks to shareholders, employees, and banks. By the late 1990s, Trump was recording hundreds of millions of dollars in annual net losses. Major banks stopped lending to him for new construction, forcing him away from the business of traditional development. He responded by moving away from capital-intensive construction and began monetizing something intangible, his intellectual property and his brand, through reality television. The Apprentice earned him over $197 million directly, but its real value was in its reach. The show built a public image of a decisive, successful billionaire CEO that reached millions of households. He used that television fame to launch a global brand licensing model. He began collecting tens of millions of dollars by leasing the name Trump to everything from mattresses to luxury buildings he didn't actually own or invest in. By leasing his name, Trump converted his reputation into a high-margin product, allowing him to collect millions without the overhead of physical construction. In 2024, a shift in the stock market instantly pushed his net worth past the $6 billion mark, without a single new building being completed. This jump came from the merger of Trump Media and Technology Group with a special-purpose acquisition company. This allowed his company, Truth Social, to list publicly on the NASDAQ under the ticker symbol DJT. Company revenue stays near zero, but the stock price behaves like a meme stock, driven by political loyalty. Additionally, New York Times investigations suggest Trump holds a massive shadow portfolio. His undisclosed cryptocurrency could range up to $11 billion, adding digital liquidity. Donald Trump navigated American capitalism by evolving from inherited bricks to a licensed name, and finally to digital capital. His current $6 billion peak demonstrates that, in the modern economy, the most valuable commodity is the power to shape reality and monetize human belief.